Imagine being a mother with 2 kids, suddenly losing your home, and having to choose between keeping your children together or giving them a safer place to stay. That's exactly what happened to me. But the hardest part wasn't losing our home. It was telling my 10-year-old son that his own behavior was the reason we lost it. I have 2 children, a 6-year-old daughter and a 10-year-old son. After some really difficult things happened in my life, the kids and I needed somewhere to stay while I tried to get back on my feet. Then, unexpectedly, an old friend came into our lives. We hadn't seen each other in years, but she heard about what I was going through and offered to let all 3 of us stay with her family. At the time, I thought she had saved us. I had no idea how complicated things were about to become. My friend was married and had 4 children of her own. She was also pregnant with her 5th baby. Her family had a big house, a huge backyard, a pool, and a giant playroom where all the kids could play together. But more importantly, she was an incredibly kind person. She had even adopted 2 of her children from foster care and had helped other friends who were struggling. Before we moved in, she asked me to complete a background check. Once everything was cleared, we moved in by the end of that week. My daughter moved into a bedroom with my friend's oldest daughter. The 2 girls became best friends almost immediately. My son got a small room that had previously been used for storage, but my friend had completely decorated it for him. And I stayed in the guest room. At first, everything seemed perfect. But my friend had warned me about one thing. My son can be extremely defiant. I had already tried therapy, behavioral support, punishment, and many other things. At school, he was a great kid. But at home, almost everything could turn into an argument. Sometimes he would fight with his sister or become rough with her. My friend understood the situation and wanted to help. But she gave me one clear warning. She said, "We want to help you, but if his behavior starts hurting or seriously affecting our children, we'll have to ask you to leave." For the first couple of weeks, my son actually did really well. Then things slowly changed. He started testing boundaries. He teased the girls. He took food that belonged to them. He even started shooting them with his Nerf guns. My friend and her husband tried to be patient. I talked to my son. I punished him. I explained again and again that he had to respect the other children and the rules of the house. But the behavior continued. Eventually, my friend gave us our only warning. I talked to my son again and tried another punishment. But soon after, he started bothering the girls again. And this time, my friend had reached her limit. She told me that they were willing to let my daughter stay with them until I could get back on my feet. But my son and I had to leave that night. I was devastated. They helped us get a hotel for a week. After that, my son and I moved from one hotel and motel to another for several weeks. Eventually, I found a 2-bedroom apartment. But it almost certainly has mold problems. I'm still applying for income-restricted apartments because I desperately want something better. For now, I've made a difficult decision. My daughter is staying with my friend and her family. I visit her several times a week, and we spend weekends together. I'm keeping her there because I want her to have a safe, stable place to live while I try to get us somewhere better. My son, meanwhile, is living with me. And recently, he became angry. He told me that I favor his sister. He said, "She gets to live in the good house, and I have to live here." And in that moment, I finally snapped. I told him the truth. I said that the reason his sister was still staying there was because his behavior was the reason we had been asked to leave. I reminded him that we had talked to him. We had warned him. We had punished him. And we had given him chances to change. But he kept ignoring us. Now, he was dealing with the consequences. After I said that, he became extremely upset. And now I'm questioning myself. Maybe I should have protected him from that truth. Maybe a 10-year-old is too young to understand something like this. Or maybe he needed to hear it. Because I don't want him growing up believing that his sister was chosen over him. I want him to understand that his sister didn't cause this. And neither did I. His actions had consequences. But at the same time, he's still my little boy. And I don't want him carrying guilt and shame for something he doesn't fully understand. So now I'm left wondering, did I do the right thing by telling my son the truth? Or should a mother protect her child from a painful truth until he's older? I don't know if I handled this perfectly. I was exhausted, frustrated, and scared for my family. I love both of my children more than anything. I just want my son to learn from what happened without believing that he is a bad kid or that I love his sister more. Because sometimes, parenting isn't about making the perfect decision. Sometimes, it's about making the best decision you can while everything around you is falling apart. What would you have done in my situation? Would you have told your 10-year-old the truth, or would you have explained it differently? Let me know in the comments. And if this story made you stop and think, subscribe for more real-life stories and difficult parenting situations.